Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that one mid-size sedan that refuses to say die. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Chevy Malibu. This is an LT trim, but before we get into this mid-size sedan, let's talk about what's going on here. So yes, you heard correctly. The Malibu refuses to say die. Even with the Camaro being killed off last year, the Malibu continues production. The Chevy Malibu has been around, the name has been around since 1964. Much different when you look at the original iteration of this icon from Chevrolet, but you know what? In the mid-size sedan segment, there's not a lot of competition anymore. A lot of the competitors have tapped out and left the ring. This car competes directly with the Honda Accord, with the Toyota Camry, and then obviously the brands like Kia and Hyundai with the K5 and the Sonata. And that's about it at this price point. So what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the most affordable mid-size sedan, is the Chevy Malibu the best way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, the shape is still the same over the past few years. And it's interesting because you could say one of two things. You could say, well, it's dated, or you could say, well, maybe they got the design right and it's kind of lasted the test of time. But let's see what we got going on. At the front of the business, you're gonna notice that we do have LED projector beam headlight with your chrome style trim that actually goes from the grille into the headlight housing. Working your way down, you can see everything is old school Thomas Edison light bulb action, but we gotta compare apples to apples. Don't compare this to some fully loaded BMW. No. This is all about value, and what they try to do is keep things similar over the years to help create that value. On the bottom portion, I do have to zonk this fake vent looking design. They should have just kept that smooth, to be honest with you. But let me know your thoughts. Very curious to know your thoughts of what the corner, how that corner is speaking to you compared to, say, a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. Now, as we come across the front grille, this particular one being an LT, has the full chrome grille with that iconic Chevy badge. Working your way down, you do have full functionality with your sort of carbon flash metallic and the chrome. And then along the bottom, you got a little bit of a little lip here that's flat black. But like I said, the shape hasn't changed over the years, but does it look dated? You know, a lot of people, when they came out with the Honda Accord, said that the front of it looked like a Ford Taurus. So, like I said, apples to apples comparison here. Now, as we rise up, super sleek. They did a great job shaping this upper portion of the nose into the hood. And then as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. What you're gonna find are these aluminum wheels, machined aluminum accents around the exterior with the gunmetal metallic gray. Tire size and wheel size, so this is 18 inches in diameter, 245 on the width, 45 series sidewall, and yes, the Chevy Malibu is front wheel drive. Everything else though, that nice gunmetal gray finish, making it look classy. But let me know what you think about the wheel design with the particular color of this Malibu. Coming down the side, you do have the Malibu name prominently displayed. We have color matched on the mirror caps with some flat gray. No sunroof on this particular trim, and then you're gonna see bright shiny metalwork top and bottom. This is a mid-size sedan. It's not a compact. Chevy doesn't have a compact sedan anymore. That was the Chevy Cruze. Working our way towards the rear. Nice size quarter window. There is a large amount of gloss black here, which I am gonna zonk because that's gonna get scratched to all high heaven. But it's nice that they give you a quarter window with that aluminum style trim. And then when you come around the back, just clean, just clean. So you're gonna have your LED, actually, yeah, LED taillights, your LT badge, the Malibu name on the driver's side, and then working our way down to ground level, just a simple, clean, lower bumper area. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and find out what the heck is powering a Chevy Malibu. All right, guys, we do have the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. Most of the competition has a prop rod, the few that are still standing. Underneath the hood, you have that Ecotec engine from Chevrolet. It is a turbocharged engine, no hybrid, no electric, just good old-fashioned internal combustion engine. It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline four, 160 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque, and yes, it is mated to a CVT. But the competition is also basically mated to a CVT. 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds, top speed 130 miles an hour, MPGs 29 in the city, 36 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 3,184 pounds. But may not have a ton of horsepower like the old Chevy Malibus, but let's see what it looks like in motion. Let's fire it up and see this move. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Chevrolet Malibu. This is a 1LT, and I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I need a midsize sedan. I don't want an SUV. I've always been on the fence about the Chevy Malibu. I didn't even know they still made them. But I'm curious, how much is it? So MSRP for the way that this one is optioned is right at $29,000. Let's see what you get for the money when you go Malibu to the door panels. You're gonna find that there's a kind of mixed bag of tricks here. You have a bit of cloth on the armrest, not my favorite, but you do have some painted silver gray finish around the switchgear. No gloss black. Door pocket, you could probably fit, I would say, 4 cheeseburgers in there and a large Coke to wash it down. Going from the door panel to the dash, it is hard plastic, so I am going to zonk that. You do have matching cloth, not my favorite, but at least it's not gloss black everywhere. Slide on in, you have your infotainment system screen. It is the older style system, but you know what? It's usable. It's an 8-inch infotainment system. You got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, full touchscreen. Very intuitive, very easy to use. You got your swipe features here. I throw it into reverse. Backup camera is clear as day. So that's the big plus. Look at how nice that backup camera is with the trajectory lines. And it is pretty much integrated into the dash. You have your dual climate control, a little bit of ambient lighting that's going to light up around the dual climate with the digital readouts. 3 stages of heated seats. No ventilated seats at this price point. Down below, you got a nice little tray for your, your tokens, your maybe some Jolly Ranchers, some Tootsie Rolls. I like the silver trim in here. This metallic gray finish is really nice because look, no fingerprints, 2 cup holders. This is going to control our CVT transmission. And then you do have your bow tie on the key fob. Flip it around. You do get remote start. It's got a nice little area here for a box of Tic Tacs. And then you're going to get super soft material on the armrest. Lift it up. You could fit in there, I would say, 4 to 5 Hostess snowballs. And if you don't know what a snowball is, it is a coconut covered treat from Hostess, which they don't make anymore, but you can find them on the internet. And because they have so many preservatives and sugar in them, they last about 35 years. So you're still in the green zone to eat one. Seats, they are cloth. They do have the different material in the center. Manual controls for the passenger, but guess what? I have electric assist for the driver. No sunroof on this particular trim. But why don't you go ahead, come on over here to the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel in the Malibu. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. There is lots of room in here. I'm 6 feet tall. You got your power seat controls, which are really nice for the driver's side. Seats are really comfortable, so they got that going for them. Steering wheel, I don't know why they can't at least put some vinyl, some pleather, some vegan leather. They made it look good by putting these little dimples in there, but it just would have been nice to have a leather steering wheel rather than a Rubbermaid steering wheel. But you have flat black on the switchgear. These controls I used to not like because it reminded me of like Game Boy touchpads, but now they're growing on me because it's like old school. It's like everything else is so complicated on newer cars that this is actually a big plus. You do have a manual tilting and telescoping wheel, and then the dash is pretty much all analog, tach, speedometer, coolant, fuel gauge, and then you do have that small digital Casio watch-inspired display in the center that you could scroll through a cornucopia of information. The good news is it's very, 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 very easy to use. So you definitely have that going for it. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the back seat and see if your passengers are going to be impressed with your Chevy Malibu. All right, guys, back seat time. And you know, the Chevy Malibu, even though it is dated because they haven't redesigned it, you know, since Noah built his Ark, the good news is you still got plenty of room back here. I would actually argue maybe even more room than the new Accord or a Camry, but you have your AC vents, which is a big plus, and they do give you a 12 volt, which is nice. I have a pocket over here. I'm gonna keep my old issues of Popular Mechanics and Popular Science. I remember as a kid, I used to love to read those that my dad had subscriptions for, because they talked about things like in the year 2000, they thought we were gonna have flying cars. Boy, were they wrong. We don't have flying cars, but we still have the Chevy Malibu. Pull that center armrest down. It is soft. And if you have like a callus or maybe a wart with some hair growing out of it, you could grind it down because of the coarse finish on the armrest with the two cup holders. And then it's got the same exact material, which is nice, that you find up front. All cloth, very soft, and lots of room. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the trunk, because I want to take you for a spin in this Malibu. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. See what kind of junk we can put in a Malibu. You got 16 cubic feet of space, so a nice large amount of room. Seats do the 60-40 split. The surprising thing that I'm gonna have to zonk is there's no spare. You get a can of flat fix and an electric air compressor. But why don't we go ahead? We got the Malibu. Let's go for a spin and see how it drives. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Chevy Malibu LT trim, and right away, just it allows you to have an option that does not involve any kind of electrification. They've been using this platform for quite some time, so you don't have to worry about, are things gonna be, you know, getting recalled. This infotainment system has been around for a very long time. And what's interesting is that it's actually pretty comfortable to drive. I mean, the seats are super comfy. It's easy to get to the 8-inch infotainment system screen. I think this car is perfect for a first-time driver if they wanted to buy a brand new vehicle. And surprisingly, there's not a bunch of wind noise, which is kind of crazy. Visibility is another thing where the A-pillars are pulled very far apart. And then let's see how the acceleration goes. On throttle, simulated shifting with the CVT. Helps keep the drone down, because a lot of times when a CVT doesn't do simulated shifting, then it causes a big issue with drone, and this doesn't have that issue. Handling just fine. And it's interesting because it actually feels faster behind the wheel than it does on paper. But nice to be able to have just a straightforward sedan without too much technology, if that is something that you're looking for. I feel like this is like a flip phone or something, and you're able to still make phone calls with it. You just can't surf the web. Still works just fine. But really, like I said, the handling on it is actually pretty good considering the type of vehicle it is. You got your storage, tons of room, and you are getting your safety features, your blind spot monitoring and all those goodies as well. Dash is easy to read. I know it doesn't change colors and, you know, morph into some other weird thing. It's just straightforward. It's straightforward mid-size sedan. At the end of the day, it's just nice to have options. On throttle, here we go. But I tell you, it does have a bit of pep to it, even though, like I said, the numbers just don't say that it does, but it actually gets up to speed nice. And I like the way the simulated shifts are. It feels very smooth, very natural. But going down the road, it's the seats that feel fantastic. And like I said, just everything is well laid out here. Real buttons and knobs. This is the flip phone of the midsize sedan. And you still have a touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I just wish the steering wheel would have been nice if the steering wheel had some fake leather, some pleather wrapped around it, because it just, I don't know, when you hold on to the wheel, it just feels like a rental car. But like I said, nice to have options. Is it for everybody? No. But they still keep making them, and it's going to be interesting to see how much longer the Chevy Malibu lasts. Crazy to think that the first one was 1964. But I am pleasantly surprised with the vehicle, especially for the price. Let's go on throttle one more time. On throttle, here we go. Little chirping of the tires there. I didn't even know it had enough horsepower to chirp the tires, but it does. But I'm hoping that this has been a good, quick overall review of what the Chevy Malibu is bringing. We're gonna get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another day, another Chevrolet. Here at Dimmitt Chevrolet, definitely got to thank Raheel and the rest of the crew getting us this Chevy Malibu 1LT. Let me know what you think. When it comes to affordability, is this the most affordable way to go for a mid-size sedan? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Razor Eyes family. Gotta give it to Stephen Flood. You know what? He walks around and really is able to get people's attention. And that's the thing is that Stephen really focuses on other people and their needs. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.